Welcome to this tutorial on installing pfBlockerNG on pfSense, or otherwise known as DNS Blacklisting. This is a powerful tool that enhances your firewall by blocking malicious IPs, filtering ads, and preventing access to unwanted domains. In our last video, I mentioned that we would be installing various layers to increase our security against attackers and AI. In this example, we're going to be installing the DNS layer. Let me give you a sample of what this does before we get started. I'm subscribed to a content filter. That content filter has categories, and I selected the adult category to be blocked. Adult.com is not necessarily a malicious website, more of a test website to check if your filters are properly blocking. When you try to go to adult.com, it should be blocked because it's a check in the filter that I'm subscribed to. In addition, if you try to circumvent the security, it still is blocked. If we click on advanced and try to get to it, we can't. This is excellent. Alright, before we get into the configuration of pfSense, we need to establish two accounts which are vitally important to make sure that this goes off with any errors. Both of these accounts are absolutely free. Go out to ipinfo.io, register for an account. Once you log in, click on token in the lower left corner, and then copy the code directly to your clipboard. And make sure you paste this in a secure location, or at least temporarily on a text file. Next, we're going to go out to maxmine.com, and we're also going to register for an account. Once you log in, click on Manage License Keys, and you're going to generate a new license key. There's two parts to this. You're going to grab the account ID and paste it into that text file you just made for your previous key. Once you click Generate License Key and the key is shown, copy it because it will not be displayed in full again. Next, we're going to take those pieces of information and we're going to put them in the correct places in pfSense. Browse over to your pfSense installation, click on Firewall pfBlockerNG, click on your IP tab, scroll down, and there you see ASN IP info token, and below that you can see the maxmine account ID and the maxmine license key. Perfect. Alright, so here is where we're dumped out after the installation. If you went through the initial setup once you install pfBlockerNG or DNS Blacklisting. Just for review's sake, I'm going to go through the configuration just to make sure that we've got all the right things checked and everything's working perfectly. Let's get into the initial configuration of pfBlockerNG. On our General tab, let's ensure pfBlocker is enabled. We'll scroll down, and because we make that change, we have to click Save on every page. We'll click IP address. We will enable CIDR aggregation. Let's scroll down. And for the ASN configuration, make sure you go get that free account and plug in this IP info token. And for maxmine GeoIP configuration, make sure you got that maxmine account ID. Again, that's free, and the license key as well, because you're going to get errors. Scroll down to the end there, and we're going to leave inbound firewall rules and outbound firewall rules the same. Let's tick or enable floating rules, and we're also going to enable kill states. Let's go ahead and save IP settings. From here, we'll click on the IPv4 tab, and we can see that there's been a rule created for us from our selections already. We can click on IPv6, and there should be no information here unless you absolutely have to use that. For GeoIP, you can select what you want to block or allow. In this case, I blocked both ways for mine, but allowed permit outbound. For the reputation tab, we will enable max to allow analysis of repeat offenders, and the same thing for these two down here. They just allow additional analysis of repeat offenders. Leave these the way that they are, and we'll click Save. For the main DNS Blacklist tab, we're going to enable DNS Blacklist. We're going to click this drop down and select Unbound Python mode. This is going to enable us to catch HTTPS DNS requests rather than just 80 and also block them. We're also going to ensure that wildcard blocking is enabled. These other settings we're going to leave the way that they are. Let's scroll down. Leave these unchanged. For DNS Blacklist configuration, let's permit firewall rules. Let's scroll down. And to the bottom, the list action, click that drop down. I want to select deny both. This is going to enable logging by default. This is what we want. This is excellent. We're going to go ahead and click Save. And this is just letting us know that we have to reload our DNS blacklist for the changes to take effect. Let's click on DNS blacklist groups, and here you can see that basically an add block list has been assembled for us. Let's click DNS blacklist category and click this drop down and select enable. We are going to enable blacklist categories for us. Out of these two lists, the top one is no longer supported, so we will use the bottom one, but that's okay. Even though it looks foreign or is from Europe, that's okay. It still maintains a good list of blocked sites. We'll scroll down and leave this as is. If it didn't open up for you, you just go ahead and expand UT1. And in this case, I'm going to select adult category for my household. You can select whatever you need for yours. Let's scroll all the way down. and we'll click save. Because I selected the adult category, it's just letting me know that it's a large list of domains and just to be mindful of it, but everything should be fine. Let's click on DNS Blacklist Safe Search. And here we can enable safe search on different search engines. And below this, we can also enforce YouTube restrictions. Let's click on the feeds tab. And to keep this super simple, these are additional feeds that you can add to your blacklist that help block malware. For example, CINS Army, I have used previously in other organizations. I trust that threat intelligence, so I'm going to use it inside my network. You can also research what this blacklist is. There's a little bit of information if you hover over this I. In this example, let's just add one so we can go through the process. I'll click the plus sign. It's going to give me PRI3, and we can name it something a little bit larger and a little bit more obvious so we can know when we come across it. And I'll just underscore test underscore 1. That's good. We're going to select on for the state. Let's go ahead and scroll down. And for the action, I want to select deny both. Update frequency is fine. Day of the week is fine. Let's scroll down and we can click save. What this is saying is that it just created a rule for us. In order for us to view and make sure that rule was created, we can click on IPv4, and here it is. What we selected, when it updates, and it's enabled. Excellent. So let's go ahead and update our blacklist. We'll go to update, select reload, and click run. Okay, and it updated. It might take a second, but we can see that the DNS blacklist's categories are loaded. This is excellent. And if we scroll up, we can also see that green snow has been added, the one that I just added. So this is excellent. Let's go over to firewall, rules, floating, and we can see that rule is now in effect. Cool. Let's go look at the pfBlockerNG reports tab. Let's go to pfBlockerNG. We'll click on reports. And this is an example system. This first block list up here is going to be your subscribed blacklists. So CINS Army, Green Snow as an example. Down here are the actual DNS block list domains that have been blocked from inside your network. All right, let's click on the logs tab. Let's leave this logs files selected up here and we'll click this second drop down and let's go over to DNS reply log. This is an interesting log because it shows an overview of what your network has been searching for over DNS. Your internal clients, your own network, for example, even your own PFsense appliance. So you can start to see what's happening in your network when you browse through this information or this log. These other logs, feel free to explore. And like I said, if you want more information, we can do a deep dive. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. In our next video, we will track trouble spots plus white and blacklisting. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments, thumbs up, or subscribe.